Now starting another original tale from Korafika Tales, an exclusive work from our publishing house, narrated by Joanne. Enjoy the story. 2 babies were being born. He watched, and he couldn't breathe, because it was impossible. He was sterile. Doctors confirmed it. 15 years of absolute certainty. So when she said she was pregnant, he destroyed her, called her a liar, a cheater, threw her out of his life like she was nothing. But now he could see. 2 children. His eyes, his birthmark, his blood, and the woman he loved was dying because of him. This is the story of a man who lost everything because he didn't believe in the impossible. Seo Jin-woo never believed in destiny. He built his empire with blood, silence, and absolute certainties. At 32, he was the undisputed leader of the Baek organization, the Korean family that controlled half of Los Angeles' underworld. His word was law, his silence, a death sentence. But there was one truth no one knew. He was sterile. Diagnosed at 17, after a brutal illness that nearly killed him. The doctors were clear, he would never have children, never have heirs. And Jin-woo accepted it. Because heirs meant weakness, love meant vulnerability, and he couldn't afford to be weak. Until the day he saw Amara Collins. She worked at a small art gallery downtown, a discreet, forgotten place where the criminal elite rarely set foot. Jin-woo was only there because one of his associates insisted. A favor, a formality. But then he saw her. Amara was different from every woman who had crossed his path. Skin dark as polished ebony, eyes that seemed to carry the weight of 1,000 lives lived. Curly hair pulled into a high bun, rebellious and elegant at the same time. She was explaining a painting to a client, her voice soft but firm. Like water over stone. Constant, unshakable. Jin-woo didn't hear what she was saying. He only heard the sound of his own heart racing. She looked up and saw him. The world stopped. There were no thunderclaps, no music. Just the brutal silence of 2 souls recognizing something that shouldn't exist. Jin-woo left the gallery without saying a word. But he came back the next day, and the next, and the next. Always in silence, always watching, never approaching. Amara noticed. Of course she noticed, but she said nothing. She just continued her work, feeling the weight of those cold eyes on her, and strangely, not feeling threatened. Until one rainy October night, Jin-woo finally broke the silence. She was closing the gallery when he appeared at the door. "Do you know who I am?" His voice was deep, controlled. Amara held the key in her hand, without trembling. "I do." "And you're still not afraid?" She stared at him, for a long time. "Afraid of what? Of a man who shows up every day just to watch me from afar?" Jin-woo didn't answer. Because she was right. He didn't know what he was doing there. Didn't know why he kept coming back. Didn't know why, for the first time in 15 years, he felt something beyond emptiness. "Want to come in?" Amara asked, opening the door again. Jin-woo hesitated. Entering meant crossing a line, meant opening a door he had locked long ago. But he entered. And that night, among silent paintings and the sound of rain, Jin-woo and Amara talked for the first time. About art, about the city, about everything, except who they really were. She didn't ask about his empire. He didn't ask about her loneliness. And for a few hours, Jin-woo wasn't the Mafia boss. He was just a man. 3 months later, they were together. Jin-woo never called Amara his girlfriend, never introduced her to anyone, never brought her into his world. But she was in every thought, in every decision, in every silence. Amara knew this wasn't normal, knew that Jin-woo carried secrets she could never touch. But she also knew he was sincere, that, in his twisted way, he loved her, and she loved him back, even knowing it couldn't last, even knowing his world would eventually swallow her whole. But then, it happened. Amara discovered she was pregnant. At first, she thought it was impossible. Jinwoo had never mentioned children, never talked about family. But the symptoms were clear. The delay, the nausea, the exhaustion. She took 3 tests, all positive, and her world collapsed, because she knew deep in her soul, that Jinwoo wouldn't accept this. But she had to tell him. On a cold January night, Amara went to his apartment. Jinwoo was on the balcony, watching the city like a predator surveying its territory. "Jin," she began, her voice trembling. He turned, immediately sensing something was wrong. "What is it?" Amara took a deep breath. "I'm pregnant." The silence that followed was deafening. Jinwoo stared at her, without blinking, without moving. And then he laughed. Not a happy laugh, but a cold laugh, broken, disbelieving. "Impossible." Amara felt her chest tighten. "Jin, I took 3 tests. I'm sterile." His voice exploded, sharp as a blade. Amara stepped back, eyes wide. Jinwoo took a step toward her, his face transformed into a mask of fury. "You think I'm an idiot? Think I don't know what you're doing? What are you talking about? Whose is it?" He spat the words. "Whose child is this, Amara?" She felt tears burning. "It's yours. It's ours. Liar!" The scream echoed through the apartment, through the empty hallways, through Amara's broken heart. Jinwoo was trembling, but not from anger, from fear, because for the first time in his life, he was losing control. For the first time, something was happening that he couldn't command, couldn't predict. And the only logical explanation was betrayal. "Get out," he said, his voice low, deadly. Amara didn't move. "Jin, please, listen to me. Get out of my house." She stepped back, sobbing, tried to touch his arm, but he pulled away as if she burned. "You disappointed me, Amara. I thought you were different, but you're just like everyone else. A liar, an opportunist, looking for a way to use me." "I love you," she whispered, her voice destroyed. Jinwoo turned his face away. "Love doesn't exist, and that child isn't mine." Amara left the apartment stumbling, went down the stairs, out into the cold street, and collapsed. Amara didn't come back. She disappeared from Los Angeles like smoke, without warning, without leaving traces. Jinwoo told himself he didn't care. Said she proved exactly what he always knew. No one was trustworthy. No one was real. But at night, when the silence weighed too heavy, he felt the emptiness. The apartment was exactly as before, but it felt different. Smaller. Colder. He burned everything that was hers. Clothes. Books. The scarf she forgot on the couch. But he couldn't burn the memory. 3 months passed. Jinwoo returned to routine. Silent meetings. Brutal decisions. The empire kept spinning. But something had changed. He was colder, more distant. His men noticed, but no one dared comment. Until one April night, his right-hand man, Kang Minho, entered the office with a strange expression. "Boss, there's something you need to know." Jinwoo looked up from the document he was reviewing. "Speak." Minho hesitated. Rare thing. "It's about Amara Collins." The name fell like a bomb. Jinwoo froze. His fingers gripped the pen until his knuckles turned white. "Is she dead?" The voice came out drier than intended. "No, she's pregnant." Silence. Jinwoo released the pen slowly. "And what does that have to do with me?" Minho swallowed hard. "She's at Los Angeles General Hospital. Pregnancy complications. Twins," the doctors said. "She might not survive the delivery." Jinwoo felt the ground move. Twins. Impossible. He stood up abruptly, knocking over the chair. "Why are you telling me this?" Minho stared at him, firm. "Because I know you, boss, and I know that, no matter what happened between you two, you'll want to know." Jinwoo turned to the window, hands clenched into fists. "Twins. His? No. Impossible. But then, why was his heart racing? "Prepare the car," he ordered, voice hoarse. "Boss, now!" Minho left quickly. Jinwoo stood still, looking at the city below. He didn't know why he was going, didn't know what he expected to find. But he knew he needed to see. Needed to be sure. Los Angeles General Hospital was a maze of white corridors and cold lights. Jinwoo entered through the back entrance, escorted by 2 discreet guards. He wore a dark coat, sunglasses, trying to go unnoticed, but his presence was impossible to ignore. Minho guided him to the 5th floor, high-risk maternity ward. "She's in room 5117, Minho informed. Jinwoo stopped in front of the door, took a deep breath, and entered. The room was in semi-darkness. Machines beeped softly. The smell of disinfectant hung in the air. And there she was, Amara, lying in the hospital bed, connected to tubes and wires. Her face was thinner, pale, but still beautiful. So beautiful it hurt to look. Jinwoo stood frozen in the doorway, unable to move. And then, she opened her eyes. For a long moment, they just looked at each other. No words, no accusations, just the brutal truth between them. "You came," Amara whispered, voice weak. Jinwoo didn't answer. She closed her eyes, a tear sliding down. "I didn't lie, Jin. Never lied." He clenched his fists. "I'm sterile, Amara. Medical fact. It's not a matter of believing or not." "I know." She opened her eyes again, staring at him. "And still, I'm pregnant with your child." Jinwoo felt anger rising. "You're delirious. Probably the drugs they gave you. Do the DNA test," she interrupted, firm despite her weakness. "When they're born, do the test, and you'll see." Silence. Jinwoo took a step toward the bed. "And if they're not mine?" Amara stared at him, eyes full of a sadness he'd never seen before. "Then you can keep hating me, can call me a liar for the rest of your life, and I'll accept it, because either way, I've already lost you." Jinwoo felt something break inside, but before he could respond, the door burst open. A nurse entered, followed by 2 doctors. "Sir, you need to leave, now," the nurse ordered. "Why?" "She's going into labor, and there are complications. We need to take her to the operating room immediately." Jinwoo's blood ran cold. "What?" "Placental abruption. The babies are in distress. If we don't do an emergency C-section now, we could lose all 3. Jinwoo looked at Amara. She was pale, trembling. "Jin," she whispered. He took a step toward her, but the doctors were already moving the bed. "Sir, please," the nurse insisted. Jinwoo stepped back and watched, helpless, as they took Amara away. The last thing he saw was her look, full of fear, full of love, full of goodbye. Jinwoo waited. He didn't know what else to do. He sat in the waiting room, a cold space, lit by cruel fluorescent lights. Other people waited around him, nervous husbands, anxious families. But no one spoke to him, because even there, in that neutral place, Jinwoo emanated something that pushed people away. Power, danger, loneliness. Minho was beside him, silent. Knew there were no right words for this moment. The hours passed, 2, 3, 4. Jinwoo didn't move, didn't drink water, didn't eat, just waited. Until finally, the operating room doors opened. A doctor emerged, removing his mask. His face was serious. Jinwoo stood immediately. "How is she?" The doctor stared at him. "Are you family?" Jinwoo hesitated. "I'm the father." The doctor sighed. "The babies survived. 2 boys. Healthy. They're in the neonatal ICU, but vital signs are stable." Jinwoo felt the air escape his lungs. 2 boys. "And Amara?" The doctor's expression darkened. "She lost a lot of blood. We're doing everything we can, but the next 2 hours are critical. If she makes it through tonight, the chances improve. But I can't guarantee anything." Jinwoo felt the world spin. Can I see her? Not now. She's in recovery. But you can see the babies if you want. Jinwoo didn't answer, just followed the doctor. The neonatal ICU was a strange place. Silent, but full of life. Incubators lined up, tiny babies fighting to breathe. The doctor stopped in front of 2 incubators side by side. These are them. Jinwoo looked, and his world collapsed. 2 identical babies, small, fragile, perfect, light skin, dark hair, closed eyes. And then, he saw it. On the left shoulder of each one, a birthmark. Small, dark, crescent-shaped. The same mark Jinwoo had. The same mark his father had. The same mark all the men in the Seo family had carried for generations. Jinwoo felt his knees weaken. He leaned on the incubator, unable to breathe. Impossible.
You have 2 options. Keep watching short clips. Unlock the full story now. 14 full episodes. New content every week. Listen anytime, anywhere, no interruptions. Exclusive members-only area. Choose the story theme once a week. Scan the QR code now. Access is closing.
The doctor said it was impossible. But there they were. His sons. His heirs. His redemption. And his damnation. Sir? The doctor called, concerned. Jinwoo didn't answer. Just extended his trembling hand and touched the incubator glass. They're mine, he whispered, voice broken. My sons. The tears came, silent, inevitable. Jinwoo cried for the first time in 15 years. Cried for the truth he had rejected. Cried for the woman he had destroyed. Cried for the sons he almost lost before even knowing them. Minho stood in the doorway, not knowing what to do. Had never seen Jinwoo like this. Had never seen the Mafia boss. Broken. Jinwoo stayed there for hours. Just looking, just feeling, until a nurse approached. Sir, Ms. Collins is awake. She's asking for you. Jinwoo quickly wiped his face. Is she okay? Still critical, but conscious. Jinwoo followed the nurse to the adult ICU. Amara was lying down, connected to even more machines than before. Her face was pale as paper, but her eyes were open. And when she saw him, she smiled. A weak smile, broken, but sincere. Did you see them? She whispered. Jinwoo approached the bed, unable to speak. Did you see our sons? He nodded, throat tight. Amara closed her eyes, tears streaming. I told you. I didn't lie. Jinwoo knelt beside the bed, held her hand, fragile, cold. Forgive me, he whispered, voice destroyed. Amara, forgive me. She opened her eyes, staring at him. Do you believe now? I saw the mark, my family's mark, on both of them. Amara smiled again, eyes shining. They're yours, Jin. They always were. Jinwoo lowered his head, pressing his forehead against her hand. I destroyed you. You were right, and I destroyed you. You were afraid. Amara whispered. I understand. No, there's no excuse. He looked up, meeting her eyes. I loved you, and still, I hurt you in the worst way possible. Silence. Amara stared at him for a long time. Do you still love me? Jinwoo didn't hesitate. Yes. Then, promise me something. Anything. Amara squeezed his hand, weak but firm. If I don't survive, take care of them, our boys. Don't let your world destroy them. Promise? Jinwoo felt his chest break. You're going to survive. Jin, you're going to survive, he almost shouted. Because I won't let you go. Not now. Not after everything. Amara smiled, sad. It's not your decision. Then I'll fight. I'll fight for what we should have had from the beginning. He leaned in, kissing her forehead gently. I love you, Amara. And I'll spend the rest of my life proving I deserve you. She closed her eyes, tears falling. I love you too. And then, the monitors started beeping. Nurses rushed into the room. Sir, get out! Jinwoo was pushed outside as the medical team moved quickly. She's going into cardiac arrest. Prepare the defibrillator. Jinwoo stood outside, hearing the screams, the commands, the chaos. And for the second time that night, he cried. Amara survived the night, barely. The doctors said it was a miracle, that someone who lost that much blood shouldn't be alive. But Jinwoo knew better. Amara was a fighter. Always had been. She woke up 2 days later, weak but stable. The first thing she asked for were the babies. Jinwoo brought them to her. She cried when she held them, both at the same time, one in each arm. So small, so perfect. What are we going to name them? She whispered, looking at Jinwoo. He sat beside the bed, staring at his sons. I don't know. I never thought. I'd have this. Amara smiled softly. Min-jae and Min-ho, strong names, for strong boys. Jinwoo felt something warm spread through his chest. Min-jae and Min-ho, he repeated. Perfect. For a moment, everything felt right. But reality doesn't forgive. 3 weeks after the birth, Jinwoo received a call. It was from his second-in-command, Park Tae-sung. Boss, we have a problem. Jinwoo's blood ran cold. What kind of problem? The Choi family knows. About the woman, about the babies. Silence. Jinwoo gripped the phone so hard it nearly cracked. How? Someone talked, one of the hospital staff probably. They're asking questions, watching the hospital. Jinwoo closed his eyes. The Choi family, his biggest rival, the ones who had been waiting for any weakness to strike. And now they had it. Double security around Amara and the boys. Now. Already done, boss, but there's more. What? They sent a message. They want to meet. Tonight. Jinwoo knew what that meant. A threat, a negotiation, or a declaration of war. He met them at an abandoned warehouse near the docks. 5 men, all armed, all dangerous. The leader of the Choi family, Choi Dong-hyun, stepped forward. A man in his 50s, cold eyes, scarred face. Jinwoo, congratulations. I heard you became a father. Jinwoo didn't react. What do you want, Dong-hyun? The older man smiled. I want what's fair. You've been on top for too long. Time to share. Share what? Territory, profits, power. Jinwoo's jaw tightened. And if I refuse? Dong-hyun's smile widened. Then we go after what matters most to you. The woman, the babies. Their vulnerabilities now, Jinwoo. And vulnerabilities can be exploited. Jinwoo felt rage burning through his veins. But he didn't move. Didn't show emotion. Touch them, and I'll burn your entire family to the ground. Dong-hyun laughed. Big words for a man who just discovered he has something to lose. Jinwoo stepped closer, voice deadly quiet. You have 48 hours to leave Los Angeles. After that, anyone carrying the Choi name becomes a target. Dong-hyun's smile faded. You're making a mistake. No, you made the mistake when you threatened my family. Jinwoo turned and walked away. But he knew. War was coming. He returned to the hospital and found Amara awake, holding Min-jae while a nurse fed Min-ho. She looked up when he entered, and immediately knew something was wrong. What happened? Jinwoo sat beside her, taking her hand. We need to leave Los Angeles. Amara's eyes widened. What? Why? Because staying here puts you and the boys in danger. My world. It's not safe anymore. It never was safe, Jin. This is different. They know about you, about them, and they'll use that against me. Amara was quiet for a long moment. Where would we go? I have a place outside the city, secure, private. No one will find us there. And your empire? Jinwoo looked at his sons. I'll figure it out. But right now, you 3 are more important. Amara squeezed his hand. Okay, we'll go. They left 3 days later. Jinwoo arranged everything. A private convoy, armed guards, a secure route. The safe house was 2 hours outside Los Angeles, hidden in the mountains. Beautiful, isolated, protected. Amara walked through the house holding Min-jae, Jinwoo carrying Minho. "It's beautiful," she whispered. Jinwoo nodded. "It's yours. All of it." She looked at him, surprised. "Mine?" "Ours. I bought it years ago. Never thought I'd use it. But now, it's our home." Amara felt tears forming. For the first time in months, she felt safe. The first few weeks were peaceful. Jinwoo ran his organization remotely, using encrypted communications and trusted intermediaries. The Choi family had backed off temporarily, but Jinwoo knew it wouldn't last. Meanwhile, he learned to be a father, changed diapers, fed bottles at 3 a.m., rocked crying babies to sleep, things he never imagined doing, things that terrified him more than any rival ever did. One night, Amara found him in the nursery, holding both boys while they slept. "You're good at this," she said softly. Jinwoo looked up, surprised. "I don't know what I'm doing." "None of us do. We just figure it out." She sat beside him. "Do you regret it? Leaving everything behind?" Jinwoo looked at his sons, then at her. "No, for the first time in my life, I don't regret anything." Amara leaned her head on his shoulder. "I love you, Jinwoo. I love you too. But peace never lasts." 2 months later, Minho called. "Boss, we have a situation." Jinwoo stepped outside, away from Amara. "Talk." "The Choi family made a move, took over 3 of our territories, killed 2 of our men." Jinwoo's blood boiled. "And our people?" "Waiting for your orders. But boss, if you don't respond soon, we'll lose everything you built." Jinwoo closed his eyes. He knew this moment would come. The choice between his empire and his family. Between power and love. "Give me 24 hours. He hung up and stood there, staring at the mountains. Amara appeared behind him. "You have to go back, don't you?" Jinwoo turned. "How did you—" "I know you, Jin. I see it in your eyes." He walked to her, taking her hands. "If I don't go back, everything I built will collapse. My people will be slaughtered. The Choi family will take over, and they won't stop until they find us. And if you go back, I might not come back at all." Amara's eyes filled with tears. "Then don't go. Amara, stay with us. Let it all burn. We'll disappear. Change our names. Start over somewhere else." Jinwoo pulled her close. "I can't. Because if I run now, they'll never stop hunting us. Our sons will never be safe." She knew he was right. Hated it, but knew. "Promise me something," she whispered. "Anything. Come back alive. Whatever it takes. Come back to us." Jinwoo kissed her forehead. "I promise." The next morning, he left. Jinwoo returned to Los Angeles like a storm. The city looked different now. Same streets, same buildings. But everything had changed because he had changed. He wasn't the same man who left. Minho picked him up at a discreet location outside the city. The car ride was silent for the first 10 minutes. "How are they?" Minho finally asked. "Perfect." Jinwoo's voice was soft, different. "Min-jae laughed for the first time yesterday, and Minho grabbed my finger so tight I thought he'd never let go." Minho smiled. "You sound like a real father." "I am a real father." Jinwoo turned to look at his right-hand man. "What's the situation?" Minho's expression darkened. "Bad. The Choi family took 3 territories while you were gone. 2 of our men were killed. 5 more injured. They're pushing hard, testing our limits. And our people? Waiting for you. They need to see you, boss. Need to know you're still in control." Jinwoo nodded slowly. "Set up a meeting. All the key players. Tonight." Already done. The meeting took place in a warehouse on the east side. 20 men. All loyal, all dangerous. But when Jinwoo walked in, the room went silent. He looked different, calmer, more focused, like a blade that had been sharpened. "I know what you're thinking," Jinwoo began, his voice cutting through the silence. "That I abandoned you. That I chose family over the organization. No one spoke. You're right. I did choose family. But that doesn't mean I've abandoned this. He walked slowly around the room, making eye contact with each man. The Choi family thinks I'm weak now. Thinks having sons makes me vulnerable. But they're wrong. Jinwoo stopped in the center. Before, I had nothing to lose. I was reckless, unpredictable. But now I have everything to lose. Which means I'll be smarter, deadlier, more strategic. He paused. We're not going to war. We're going to dismantle them piece by piece, quietly, efficiently, until they have no choice but to leave. Minho stepped forward. What's the plan? Jinwoo smiled, cold, calculated. We hit their money first. Over the next 48 hours, Jinwoo orchestrated a surgical strike. The Choi family's illegal operations weren't touched. Instead, Jinwoo targeted their legitimate businesses, the ones they used to launder money, bank accounts frozen through carefully placed contacts in financial institutions, business licenses revoked through legal channels, supply chains disrupted through intimidation of third parties. Nothing violent, nothing that could be traced back directly. Just the slow, methodical destruction of their financial foundation. Choi Dong-hyun realized what was happening too late. By the time he called for a meeting, his family was bleeding money. They met at the same abandoned warehouse where they'd met before. But this time, the power dynamic had shifted. Dong-hyun looked older, tired, defeated. You're making a mistake, Jinwoo. Jinwoo stood across from him, hands in his pockets. Calm. No, you made the mistake when you threatened my family. We never touched them. You threatened them. That was enough. Dong-hyun clenched his jaw. What do you want? Leave Los Angeles, take your family, your operations, everything, and never come back. And if I refuse? Jinwoo's expression didn't change. Then this continues, and eventually you'll have nothing left. No money, no territory, no respect, just the memory of what you used to be. Silence. Dong-hyun stared at him for a long moment. You've changed. Yes, I have. The old Jinwoo would have just killed me. The old Jinwoo didn't have sons, didn't have someone waiting for him at home. The old Jinwoo was empty. Jinwoo stepped closer. You have 72 hours. After that, the offer expires. He turned and walked away. 3 days later, the Choi family left Los Angeles. Jinwoo's empire was restored. But he wasn't finished. He called another meeting with his top lieutenants. Smaller group this time. Just the inner circle. I'm making changes, he announced. They listened. I'm stepping back from day-to-day operations. Minho will take over as acting head, but I'll still own everything. Still make major decisions when needed. Minho looked surprised. Boss, it's not a demotion. It's an evolution. You've earned this, and I trust you. Jinwoo looked at the others. Anyone have a problem with that? Silence. Good. Then it's settled. One of the older members, Park Ji-sung, spoke up. Boss, why now? Jinwoo met his eyes. Because I almost lost everything that mattered. And I'm not making that mistake again. He paused. This organization will continue, will grow, will prosper. But I won't sacrifice my family for it. Ji-sung nodded slowly. Understood, boss. Jinwoo stood. One more thing. We're going legitimate. Slowly. Over the next 5 years, we transition everything legal. Clean money, clean operations. The room erupted in murmurs. I know it's a big shift. Jinwoo continued. But times are changing. And if we don't change with them, we'll be destroyed. Not by rivals, but by our own short-sightedness. Minho smiled. You really have changed. Yes, and it's for the better. 4 days later, Jinwoo returned to the safe house. It was late afternoon. Golden light streamed through the trees. He parked the car and sat there for a moment, just breathing. He was home. Really home. Amara was in the garden with the boys. She didn't hear the car. Jinwoo walked quietly through the house and stood at the back door, watching. Min-jae was on a blanket, reaching for toys. Min-ho was in Amara's arms, babbling happily. She was singing softly, some lullaby he didn't recognize, and she looked so beautiful it hurt. Jinwoo stepped outside. Amara looked up. Their eyes met, and she knew. She stood slowly, still holding Min-ho. "You're back." Jinwoo walked to her. "I'm back. Is it? It's over. Really over." Amara's eyes filled with tears. She set Min-ho down gently and ran to Jinwoo. He caught her, holding her so tight he thought they might become one person. "I was so scared." She sobbed into his chest. "I know. I'm sorry. Don't ever leave us again." "I won't. I promise." They stood there for a long time, just holding each other. Min-jae started crying from the blanket. Jinwoo pulled back and went to his son. "Hey, little man. Did you miss me?" He picked up Min-jae, who immediately grabbed his nose. Jinwoo laughed. A real laugh, full of joy. Amara watched, tears still streaming down her face. This was the man she fell in love with. Not the Mafia boss. Not the crime lord. Just Jinwoo. That night, after the boys were asleep, Jinwoo and Amara sat on the porch. "What happened in the city?" she asked. Jinwoo told her everything. The plan, the execution, the choice he made. "You let them go?" Amara was surprised. "Yes." "Why?" Jinwoo looked at the stars. "Because I realized something. Violence only creates more violence. If I killed Dong-hyun, his sons would come for revenge. Their sons after that. It never ends." He turned to her. "But if I give them a way out with dignity, it's over. Clean. Final." Amara took his hand. "You're becoming a better man. I'm trying. For you. For them." She leaned her head on his shoulder. "I'm proud of you." Those words meant more than any victory ever did. 6 months later, Jinwoo proposed. Not in a fancy restaurant. Not with a grand gesture. Just the two of them, in the nursery, watching the boys sleep. "Marry me," he whispered. Amara turned, surprised. "What?" Jinwoo got down on one knee, pulling out a simple ring. "I know I've done everything wrong, rejected you, hurt you, abandoned you, but you still gave me a chance, still believed in me." His voice cracked. "I don't deserve you, I know that, but I'm asking anyway. Marry me. Let me spend the rest of my life proving I can be the man you deserve." Amara was crying. "Yes, God, yes." He stood and kissed her. Soft, gentle, full of promise. They got married 3 months later. Small ceremony, just 20 people, close friends, Min-ho, a few trusted members of the organization who had become family. No extravagance. No show of power. Just love. Amara wore a simple white dress. Elegant. Beautiful. Jinwoo wore a dark suit. No weapons. No guards nearby. Just a man getting married to the woman he loved. Min-jae and Min-ho were there, dressed in matching tiny suits. They cried during the ceremony, of course, but so did everyone else. When Jinwoo said his vows, his voice was steady. "I thought I knew what power was. Thought I knew what strength meant. But I was wrong." He looked at Amara. "Real power is loving someone so much you'd give up everything for them. Real strength is admitting when you're wrong and fighting to be better." He paused. "You showed me I wasn't broken. Just incomplete. And with you, I'm whole." Amara couldn't stop crying. "You gave me the impossible," she said through tears. "You showed me that miracles are real, that love can transform even the darkest heart." She touched his face. "I choose you. Every day. Every moment. Forever." They kissed, and the small crowd erupted in applause. 1 year later, they had a daughter, Ji-yeon, born healthy, strong, beautiful like her mother. Jinwoo cried when he held her for the first time. "Another miracle," he whispered. Amara smiled from the hospital bed. "Apparently you're good at making miracles." The boys were fascinated by their baby sister. Min-jae would sit next to her crib for hours just watching. Min-ho would try to share his toys with her, even though she was too young to play. Jin-woo watched his family grow with wonder. 3 years passed. Jin-woo's organization transitioned successfully to legitimate business: real estate, technology investments, import-export. Still profitable, still powerful, but clean. Min-ho proved to be an excellent leader. Smart, strategic, fair. Jin-woo stepped back more and more, focusing on family. He coached Min-jae's little league team, taught Min-ho Korean at night, read stories to Ji-yeon before bed. Amara's art gallery became one of the most respected in the region. She mentored young artists, hosted exhibitions, built a community. They were happy, really happy. On Ji-yeon's 3rd birthday, they had a party in the backyard. Kids everywhere, balloons, cake, laughter. Jin-woo stood watching from the porch, a beer in his hand. Min-ho walked up beside him. Hard to believe, isn't it? Jin-woo smiled. What? That the terrifying Seo Jin-woo is now a soccer dad who cuts cake at birthday parties. Jin-woo laughed. Yeah, hard to believe. They stood in comfortable silence. Any regrets? Min-ho asked. Jin-woo watched Amara chasing Ji-yeon around the yard while the boys played with their friends. Not a single one. Min-ho raised his beer. To impossible miracles. Jin-woo clinked bottles with him. To impossible miracles. That night, after the party, after the kids were asleep, Jin-woo and Amara lay in bed. Remember when you first walked into my gallery? Amara asked. Every detail. Did you ever imagine we'd be here? Jin-woo was quiet for a moment. No. I thought I'd die alone. Powerful, but empty. That was my destiny. He turned to face her. But you changed everything. Gave me a reason to live instead of just survive. Amara kissed him softly. We saved each other. Yeah, we did. They lay there in the darkness, holding hands. Outside, the world kept turning. But inside this house, in this moment, everything was perfect. 5 years later, Min-jae and Min-ho were 10 years old, smart, strong, kind. They knew their father used to be in a different life, but Jin-woo taught them values that mattered: honor, loyalty, family above everything. Ji-yeon was 8, fierce, independent. A perfect combination of both parents. Jin-woo was 47 now, still strong, still sharp, but gentler. His empire was completely legitimate, thriving. Amara was 43, more beautiful than ever. One evening, the whole family sat at dinner. Dad, can we ask you something? Min-jae said. Of course. Were you really a bad guy before? Jin-woo exchanged a look with Amara. I wasn't a good guy, that's for sure. But you changed, Min-ho added. Yes, I did. Ji-yeon looked up with big eyes. Why did you change? Jin-woo smiled. Because of your mother, and because of you 3. You showed me what really matters. What really matters? Ji-yeon asked. Love, family, being someone your children can be proud of. Min-jae smiled. We are proud of you, Dad. Jin-woo felt his throat tighten. Thank you, son. That means everything to me. After dinner, Jin-woo stood on the porch, looking at the mountains. Amara joined him. What are you thinking about? How lucky I am. Lucky? I was sterile. Doctors said I'd never have children. But now I have 3. A wife I adore. A life I never dreamed possible. He turned to her. I was given an impossible gift, and I'll never take it for granted. Amara rested her head on his shoulder. We were both given impossible gifts. They stood there, watching the sunset, and Jin-woo realized something. He had built an empire of concrete and money, but his real empire was inside that house. 3 children, 1 extraordinary woman, love that defied medical science and all odds. That was his legacy. That was his redemption. That was his new empire. And it was perfect. The end.
You have two options. Keep watching short clips. Unlock the full story now. 14 full episodes. New content every week. Listen anytime, anywhere, no interruptions. Exclusive members-only area. Choose the story theme once a week. Scan the QR code now. Access is closing.